Boom, man. So look, I think I know my boy Keith Lee went into the food career, man. I ain't even gonna, hey, I ain't even gonna count to y'all, bro. I think I know why, man. And I'm finna show you exactly why. But that's besides the point, man. We ain't gonna get on my boy too much, man. We finna take a look into the life before fame of Keith Lee, man. And shout out to my boy Keith Lee. He doing his thing. He going crazy, man. We finna react to this together. So y'all stay tuned, man. Sub if you ain't subbed already. Drop a like, leave comments of what y'all want to see. Let's get right into the video, man.
Yeah, run around, creeping around, sneaking around, these bitches all fake. Niggas hating and I know they wanna see me down, these niggas all snakes. Tryna give a helping hand to everybody around me, Huncho like all state. When I was on my own and I needed you, you picked up my call.
Imagine you own a restaurant, and the difference between having a line of hungry customers out the door every day or your establishment looking like a ghost town is based on the experience of one man. That one man is not
That man got that effect, man.
Nor a culinary expert, but millions of people around the country treat his word like gospel.
But show you right on. But show you right on.
Joker when it comes to restaurant owners. But once you hear his story, you will understand why he has such a cult-like following. It's much deeper than a guy who has decent taste buds. Keith Lee is a man who failed at the one thing he was actually good at. Then at his darkest moment, he
oh my god. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. That nigga faces, man. Ain't no telling how long until that nigga to recover from that, boy.
And created a meteoric influence in an industry he had no business being in. Keith described himself as a very small child who felt the need to display his dominance to overcompensate for his short stature. His bad behavior led to him getting expelled from every school in the Detroit, Michigan area before attending a charter school as a last resort, where he barely managed to graduate the 8th grade.
So by the time I got to high school, I was a weed head, smoking every day. I'm talking about bad.
And I bet a lot of y'all didn't know this about Keith.
My freshman year, I had a 0.6 GPA.
My nigga, you just say you had a 0.6 GPA, nigga? I ain't even know GPAs went that low. You gotta be a, hey bro, you gotta be a helmet kid, bro, to have a 0.6 GPA, bro. No offense to nobody out there, bro, but a 0.6 is crazy, bro. Not gonna lie to you, bro.
Worse for Keith in high school, where he lived in the shadow of his brother. Keith's older brother Kevin had already garnered a remarkable reputation as a star athlete who graduated with a 3.9 GPA before receiving a scholarship to wrestle for Grand Valley State University, which is an NCAA Division II school. Keith decided to follow in his brother's footsteps for all the wrong reasons.
When I got there, it was more out of spite. It was more out of arrogance. It was more out of just like, now I'm approved to you, I can do it. And I don't even want to do it. I'm gonna just do it because you told me I can't do something.
And look at me.
He utilized all his pent-up aggression
Be smart,
and
man.
transferred it out on the wrestling mat, where he showed a genuine talent for the sport and squashed his competition. But he was a stubborn, disobedient child who didn't focus on
that
his
nigga
grades,
thug.
didn't stay disciplined, and quit the team.
Look at that thug right there, man.
Then his father got arrested and imprisoned following a heated altercation with some people in his neighborhood. His father's inability to provide for his family meant Keith, his mother, and younger brother were forced to move into an abandoned home, where Keith started to question his religious faith and overall perspective on life. At his lowest moment, the only way he could go was up. He stopped smoking, stopped hanging out with bad influences, and got back into wrestling. Fast forward to his senior year, Keith averaged a 3.6 GPA and was preparing to wrestle at the Michigan High School State Championships, which hadn't been achieved by a student at high school since the 90s. He received a partial scholarship to wrestle for Indiana Tech, but made a critical error. He never actually enrolled in the school. He showed up at Indiana Tech, connected with the wrestling coach, attended random classes, and got fully immersed into the college life. He was expecting a dorm room since he thought he had a scholarship, but when he showed up to the admissions office, they were confused.
They take me to the office and they like, you don't have no paperwork filled out, sir.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This nigga is, this is the first nigga, hold on, bro. This is the first nigga in the world to ever go to college, play sports, go to classes, get a dorm room, live the whole college experience with no paperwork, bro. Yeah, I told you, bro, that 0.6 GPA got that, bro, fried, bro. Man, brain is fried.
Who are you? Yeah, They was like, only thing we have is the offer letter that we sent.
That
you.
is crazy.
So we only got your
First
name
nigga ever.
and your information from the offer letter. They was like, that's all we know about you. We don't know nothing else.
He treated it like a birthday party invitation. You sent me the invitation.
I just showed up.
That is
Keith laughs
insane.
about the situation now, but at the time, he was devastated. They told Keith if he didn't pay them $20,000 for the semester and $2,000
And that's how
for
they-
the application fee,
And that's how they
he
get
wouldn't be
you.
allowed to go to school. Unable to get a loan, Keith had to move back with his family, who relocated.
That's how they
to
get you,
Las
bruh.
Vegas.
That's
He was
college
sharing
for you.
bunk beds with his 14-year-old brother, who regularly reminded Keith that he was a loser.
At this point, I'm in the deepest depression I've been in a long time. Because I'm like, oh, the reality is sitting in.
Yeah,
He right.
yeah.
I'm not in school.
Mm.
I don't have a job. I got fired already. I didn't quit a job. My track history with work is already terrible. I didn't got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
I don't have no other offers.
Right.
Nothing in life is looking
Tough,
right
man.
for me right now.
Right.
I don't have nothing going for me.
Keith's older brother Kevin had recently secured a contract to fight in the UFC as Kevin the Motown Phenom Lee, and Kevin was a savage. At his peak, he held a 16-2 professional record and
Okay,
was
Kevin.
toe-to-toe with legends like
Tony
Ferguson
Ferg.
and Charles Oliveira. Kevin forced Keith to get into the gym with him, and on his first day,
Oh,
their
man.
coach Dewey Cooper realized the potential Keith had as an MMA fighter. Desperate for money and a purpose, Keith trained for a year straight and won his first 4 amateur fights.
All right.
The 2
Okay,
losses
Keith.
he had were by split decision, meaning he was a very
Yo, he look
promising
young,
prospect.
bro.
However, he was earning next to nothing for these, $500, maybe $1,000 per fight. Keep in mind, this was over the course of 3 years.
My boy Keith
so
Lee
he
really
was
got
probably
hands, though.
Following a rotation of various low-end jobs, but luckily he met his girlfriend, now wife.
God
Ronnie,
is good. God is
with
good.
basics. Keith credits Ronnie with being the anchor to keeping him grounded and focused on becoming the best version of himself.
Look at God, man.
Following a submission victory against Leonardo Carvalho at Global Legion FC 13, Keith proposed to his girlfriend Ronnie and intentionally got her pregnant 2 days later. On the same day of the proposal, Keith's manager informed him that his victory against Carvalho earned him a 6-figure contract with Bellator. He won his very first Bellator bout against Sean Bunch.
Good God,
It took
man.
many years, but
6
once
figures?
He finally had a
Hey, he
support
went
system
from-
around him,
He went from
wife,
$500 to
coach,
6
brother,
figures.
He was able to crawl out of the repetitive cycle of depression and low ambition. Now with some free time and spare income, Keith signed up for TikTok. Keith's journey on TikTok started just like anyone else, participating in trends for no reason other than it seemed fun. From there, his uploads were just random things that pertained to his everyday life. He was getting maybe 50 views per video, but it seemed more like an outlet for him to have fun rather
Hey,
than start a
I ain't even know
business.
that, bro.
Then
I
the
thought he was just a
pandemic
food
hit, the
dude.
world
I ain't
shut
even see
down,
the old
and Keith
TikTok.
needed to make something happen.
I downloaded
Okay.
TikTok after I kept saying I wouldn't. Now
Hey.
I'm sick and tired of every video.
Hey,
I
but look,
post,
though.
I'm only getting 50 views. I'm gonna sit here.
I was one of them niggas that said, bro, I'm not finna download no TikTok, bro. What I look like? Now look at me on TikTok. Happened, bro. Never say what you ain't gonna do, man.
With my dog and tip me and him get famous.
In an attempt to garner more views, Keith began posting psychology facts videos. He gained a little bit of traction, but it didn't last long. He started to become desperate for virality.
You wanna get famous? Follow these simple instructions.
Okay.
Download another motherfucking app, cause this ain't the one. This ain't it, Chief. It ain't never gonna happen. Never.
He would cash out people if they solved a riddle. He posted math problems for people to solve. Even though he looked defeated, he refused to give up. At this point, Keith was obsessed with the platform, posting daily, if not multiple times per day. He started featuring his wife Ronnie on his page after he went semi-viral talking about building a nursery for their expected baby. He then proceeded to document milestones throughout their pregnancy, many of which received thousands of views and ignited a dramatic shift in Keith's content.
Okay.
In September of 2020, Keith won his second fight against Vinicius Zani.
Whatever they have in store for me, I'm always here to fight. I'll fight as soon as my daughter's born. My daughter's born in 4 days, so as soon as she gets here, I'm ready to go again.
He didn't lie. Just 1 week later, he and Ronnie welcomed their first child, Carter. From there, Keith's whole TikTok was dedicated to documenting him being a parent.
Hey, that's
His loving
crazy,
nurturing-
bro. He went from getting 50 views a video, and it's just a growing process. He went from getting 50 views a video to now he around 50,000, 20,000, couple hundred
Attitude
now and
towards
then.
his child attracted a large following of
Crazy.
supporters. He provided them with wholesome moments, such as clipping his daughter's nails for the first time and celebrating her first Halloween. This was his family man era. Keith took a fight on short notice, just 2 months after his previous, to fight on the main card at Bellator 253. Unfortunately, he lost by decision to Rafion Stotts, but that didn't ruin his spirits. Keith the family man kept posting his terrible dancing videos and even started sprinkling in some cooking content. By mid-2021, he had accumulated 1 million followers and was averaging maybe 100,000 views per post. This was his foundation, the people that knew Keith was a humble, honest family man. Unfortunately, he would hit a new rock bottom when he lost his 6-figure Bellator contract. In August of 2021, he was set to face his toughest opponent yet, who was undefeated. Keith was beaten and bloody and then submitted in just the first round, then got up unconscious and stumbled headfirst into the cage. The clips of his loss made the rounds on social media. He was embarrassed. He got a call from his manager saying he was cut from Bellator. Keith was back to rock bottom. His first TikTok back after his loss was him, poetically, ordering some food.
I have these sunglasses on because my eye is black and my face is beat up. I'm fine though, for anybody.
Oh man, my boy Keith, bro, the ad. Hey, bro, YouTube, bro. YouTube took my ad blocker down, bro. Don't blame me for it, bro.
I'll be fine.
But no, that's crazy though.
Followers, but he was only making around $400 per month on TikTok. His fight career was looking
what?
And TikTok.
How you got 1 million followers on the making for? That is crazy, bro.
Didn't seem realistic. Then he got a call from the owner of Harold's Chicken just a couple days after his loss. They asked him to do a review of their establishment. At the time, he didn't know it, but Keith just discovered his next big venture.
All right, Harold's Chicken in Las Vegas. They didn't have no mac and cheese, but it's okay. Overall, I get the food a 9 out of 10.
This is where it all started at.
In his review of Harold's Chicken, Keith made food reviews as a side quest on his page. However, his main focus was on family vlogs and cooking content. He was still largely referred to as the cooking guy, regularly being asked about his cooking content during interviews. In January of 2022, his wife became pregnant with their second child, and they desperately needed to find another source of income. He started doing more and more food reviews, but they weren't that organized, and he was very generous with his ratings.
We are sitting outside of Firehouse Sales because today we are doing an official food review. This has the perfect amount of spice. Like my tongue is tingling a little bit. I got that feeling on my lips. You still taste all of the flavor. 10 out of 10.
Keith says he leaned on his faith.
Firehouse Sales 10 out of 10 is crazy.
TikTok thing, and it did. In June of 2022, he signed a brand deal with Wingstop worth 6 figures, the same amount he had lost from the Bellator contract. He successfully was
gotta give it right back, man.
But it was about to get a whole lot better. His food reviews slowly started to become his main content because his brutal honesty was very entertaining.
Altogether, this food was $50, and the customer service was terrible. The lady at the front where I was picking
yo, that's crazy.
Rude, like extremely rude. I had to call back and get her name. I think she lied because she answered the phone like I didn't recognize her voice and said, "Hold on, let me go get the girl. You the girl."
Then in October, a popular YouTube channel,
that's crazy.
Versus Food, approached him to collaborate on their channel, and he accepted. This channel has over 12 million YouTube subscribers, and he knew the exposure would help his TikTok career immensely. By the way, check if you're subscribed to my channel. I asked my wife what I should post on my page.
Shout out to you though, whoever you is.
Come and watch, but actually follow. And we decided to post one full review every day. The first got like 11 million views. From there, Keith's entire content shifted to strictly food reviews.
That's
he has
crazy,
only been
bro.
Full time for 1 year at this point, but he never could have predicted what was about to happen next. While most high-profile food critics only pay attention to high-end restaurants that are too expensive for most, Keith shifted that focus onto affordable, small, family-owned restaurants that were easily accessible to the public, or fast food/popular affordable food chains. He even went out of his way to give a chance to establishments that were struggling financially. However, Keith doesn't consider himself a food critic. His reviews feel and look like
food critic, buddy,
giving you a casual breakdown. A typical review would be him ordering 3 or 4 different items on the menu, like a family of 4 would, then tasting every single item and rating it from 1 to 10. He often throws in other notes like their service.
I wonder how much money this man spent on food each year, bro. Well, not even each year, each month.
Or additional information that is relevant to the experience.
I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. I spent $23.84 on 3 bao buns and a drink. But bro, that's what they look like.
Hey, that look crazy. With the motor oil, the transmission oil, the transmission oil tacos.
Was really nice. And the actual building itself, very aesthetically pleasing. It made me want to eat. Wait a minute, bro. Personally, it was lacking spice, so the add of the salsa took the tacos itself from a 9 to a 9.7. That's one of them ones.
Even when he gives a
Let's show
negative
you right
review to
now.
the food, he will
Let's
provide
show you
more
right
context
now.
so it doesn't come off as unfair. He often goes out of his way to leave massive tips, sometimes hundreds of dollars to workers that give him good service. Since he had already built a strong foundation
Look,
during
bro,
his family man era.
He went from making $400 a month to tipping half of that just for a worker having good customer service, bro.
There wasn't necessarily one viral
Growth.
review that changed his life. His growth has been steady, and along the journey, his audience latched onto his down-to-earth attitude, unwavering love for his wife and kids, and dedication to God. But even if you don't know about his past, after watching a few videos, you can just feel he is a kind and genuine man. They didn't care about Keith not being technically qualified nor having a depth of culinary knowledge. He thinks what sets him apart is his values. I stand on my integrity, I stand on my values, and I don't allow those to be wavered or to be shook no matter the amount of money, the opportunity, or the people I'm surrounded by. With nearly 10 million loyal followers, a full-time dedication to quality reviews of local or less popular restaurants,
Hey, that little
a
heat.
phenomenon dubbed the Keith Lee effect would take over Las Vegas, then all over the USA. One of the first beneficiaries of the Keith Lee effect was a local food truck called 303 in the Cut. In November 2022, Keith's review blew up and garnered over 35 million TikTok views since its initial
Off of
upload.
food
Keith
TikTok,
confirmed
bro.
their cheesecake sandwich was a 10 out of 10, and the next night, 303 had people waiting in line for over an hour, wrapped around the corner for their food. The owner said they doubled their income in one day, and it stayed that way for over a year. One Las Vegas pizzeria,
That's crazy.
Frankincense, made
Hey, bro.
headlines for.
Hey, Keith Lee, bro, I need you to come review my YouTube channel, nigga. Come review my channel, nigga. You talking about if you ever got a fix like that, bro? I throw a little food on her ear once in a while. You know what I mean? Probably like once every 3 months. Man, come review my channel, bro.
Attracting lines around the block because Keith gave their wings a 10, pizza a 9.8, and garlic knots a 9.2. However, it wasn't just the food. It was Keith's interaction with the owner, Frank, that made people want to support him even more.
If I don't like the food, I gotta tell you, I'm not trying to be malicious. And he was like, I'm gonna be real with you too. I need help. Yeah, that hit me here. He said the food is delicious. He has great reviews on Yelp. The only bad reviews is that he don't close the time it says that he closed on Google. The time it says he closed on Google is 1 a.m. He was like, I literally can't afford to open that late because we don't get that much business. Frank, if you're watching this, I'm going to be completely honest. You are an amazing man from what I saw.
W. Frank.
I appreciated your time and I appreciated your conversation.
Hey, yo.
It's Black Friday.
YouTube, bro, stop blocking my ass, bro.
Let's try this food.
According to Frank, Frankincense had to hire 23 new team members in the 6 weeks following Keith's review and had guests from all over the world patiently waiting for over 3 hours for his pizza. Frank said he was thankful that Keith helped his business and the overall community at large in Las Vegas. Yasser Zermino, owner of Aroma Latin American Cochina, asked Keith to come review their restaurant through email. Keith gave all 5 different items over a 9, including the Oaxaca
Bro, I know that
sandwich,
nigga be
which he
full,
said
bro.
was the best he had ever had in his life. The owner said, "We went from not being able to pay the bills to now having to hire people to come and help us." Other Vegas-based businesses that Keith reviewed have seen instant growth, like Caribbean restaurant The Pink Potato or Southern Taste Seafood, a food truck that went from making $200 or under a day to seeing a 900% increase in revenue in
Bro,
the days following
one
Keith's
man
review.
is doing
His
this, bro.
impact wasn't
Well, I
just
ain't gonna
on
say
small
one man, man. I
businesses.
gotta give credit
Even
to God, but that is crazy,
fast
bro.
casual chain that generated $8.6 billion in revenue in 2022 saw the benefits of the Keith Lee effect. In early 2023, a reviewer named Alexis Frost posted a review of a menu hack. An order of a steak quesadilla with extra cheese and fajita veggies that fans say tastes like a Philly cheesesteak. Keith reviewed it and gave it a 9.8. Then chaos ensued. Chipotle workers all over the country were overwhelmed with the tens of thousands of people coming in to order this hack. One employee said the worst shift of her life was servicing this trend.
This nigga
Another
just turned
employee said
Chipotle
customer
up.
tried
What?
to swing on him, aka fight him, because he couldn't make the food. Managers started posting signs that say, "Protein and cheese on quesadilla only." Chipotle realized the only way to solve this problem was by adding the hack as an option on their menu, dubbed the Keithadilla. Keith quickly became well known all over Las Vegas. Once he partnered up
that
with
nigga
Mr.
just
Beast
turned
to give
up
$10,000
Chipotle.
to a struggling business, he couldn't even go outside without being swarmed, so he dressed up in silly disguises to avoid being recognized. But his impact is not just in Vegas. Keith got to review a local Brooklyn bakery that he
that cookie
selected
little
while being
heat.
interviewed on Good Morning America.
Hey, my
while
boy,
also
that cookie
donating
little heat.
$10,000 to that business. He continued to do press runs, being interviewed on talk shows around America, and of course, reviewing food. So now that we know how much positive impact Keith can have on a business when he likes the food, what about when he doesn't like the food? Well, unfortunately, the entire city of
Great
Atlanta
question.
would find out about the negative side of the Keith Lee effect. In October 2023, Keith announced to his nearly 15 million TikTok followers that he and his family were traveling to Atlanta, Georgia, and needed some
Pretty sure
restaurant
y'all heard this one.
recommendations. He had previously made videos in Detroit, Chicago, New Orleans, New York, and Los Angeles.
Ain't gonna lie, bro.
Atlanta's food scene is entirely
Atlanta, bro, y'all just make everything look bad, bro. That's why I do not like Atlanta for real, bro.
different, which prompted a lot of mixed reviews from Keith. The drama first began when Keith visited the Atlanta Breakfast Club, where he wanted to take the food to go, but they didn't have anywhere to sit and wait for the food. So instead, they decided to dine in, but the restaurant wouldn't allow them to sit down at a table and be served unless the entire party was there. Upon finding out that they were charged $1 for butter at a breakfast place, it was just an annoying cherry on top. Little did Keith know,
That's Atlanta
it was
for you.
about to get worse. Keith posted his review of The Real Milk and Honey, however, he didn't actually get any food. Firstly, he tried to call ahead and order. They don't accept call-ins. You can only order on the DoorDash app. But DoorDash said that they were closed. So they drove to the establishment in the middle of the day and the employees said they were closed for deep cleaning, while there were customers walking in and picking up orders. Then Keith walked into the restaurant and they recognized him and immediately attempted to serve him since he
Didn't want to serve my boy.
he declined.
Nah,
Keith has always been very
eat that food,
expressive
bit,
that
bruh.
he doesn't want nor deserve special treatment from restaurants. These days, he sends in his friends and family to do orders so he doesn't receive bias from the establishment. He wants his experience to match any ordinary person. I've personally never seen a restaurant have a rules list, but the Real Milk and Honey have a ton. We guarantee great food. Everything else is left to chance. We do not provide individual checks. 18% gratuity added to parties of 5 or more or checks larger than $105. No
Bro, what?
reservations, unless you're Barack Obama. No parties larger than 4 on days that end in Y. Keith was clearly frustrated that a business would change the rules when it
My nigga, what did, bro?
on days that end
No parties larger than 4 on days that end with Y. Bro, this is the dumbest restaurant I ever seen in my life, my nigga. Alright, bro.
Keith was clearly frustrated that a business would change the rules when it benefits them, but he didn't want people to attack the Real Milk and Honey because he had a bad experience. However, the internet, being the internet, started attacking.
Facts.
There was actually another restaurant called Milk and Honey whose owners were receiving death threats in the DMs because of people confusing them with the other restaurant. But if you had any sympathy for the Real Milk and Honey, it would be gone once you saw their response video they uploaded to TikTok.
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the Real Milk and Honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee?
Yeah.
No.
The owner tried to look cool and pretend like he didn't know the entirety of social media is destroying his business, but it only made people want to support their business less. To add insult to injury, Keith reviewed the bodega positively, which is directly next door to the Real Milk and Honey, which resulted in a line of customers skipping the Real Milk and Honey to wait in line for the bodega. But the shenanigans continued. Keith reviewed another ATL restaurant called Old Lady Gang, but again, did not get any food. He tried to call their number, no answer. Tried to order on DoorDash, said they were closed.
I feel like
he sent his family into the physical
if they
store
didn't
to
give you
do
no food, you
takeout.
should have
They
made a
said they
video.
don't do to-go orders on the weekends, but the wait to dine in was 1.5 hours and they didn't take reservations. Instead of leaving, Keith decided to walk in where he was recognized and immediately they offered him a seat, skipping the entire 1.5 hour wait, to which Keith denied because he didn't want any celebrity treatment. This is exactly how it is for us regular ATL folks. Imagine them telling you your wait time is 1.5 hours, then someone else comes up and sits immediately. Keith left and visited
Told you, bro, that's
Tombstone
Atlanta.
Wings, where he didn't plan on doing a review but arrived to a 2.5 hour wait time. When he politely left, the entire staff walked out and offered him a seat immediately, to which he denied again. There were videos that went viral of him in the parking lot seemingly arguing with the staff, but he was just letting them know that he didn't want to skip the line. But Keith's experiences are not just unique to him. Cardi B spoke on the subject on an IG Live.
I feel like Atlanta restaurants, they don't like to make money. I feel like they don't like people. They don't like their customers. They just don't fucking like it. First thing first, right? You could barely order in Atlanta restaurants. Like you go like, hey, I would like to make an order. Oh yeah, we don't take orders. We don't take orders. It gets to the point that I literally have to I have to tell like people that order food for me, like, can you just name drop my name? Because first, they don't do no pickup orders, they don't do deliveries, they just don't do shit.
Crazy, bro.
And of course, we got some hilarious memes from this whole situation.
You walk in. Let me show you how it's done. Hello, sir. How are you today? May I take your order? You talk like that. We talk like that.
Cause Keith Lee is in town, bro.
That boy Keith Lee now. Hey, y'all, are y'all little boozy at restaurants? Y'all better get on your goddamn zone now. Hey.
No cap.
Milk and honey.
Atlanta was going crazy.
Give me attitude when I told y'all my partner was just down the street parking the car.
Although most people were understanding of Keith's frustration with these ATL businesses, others, like ex-football player Chad Ochocinco, thought he was trying to tear down black-owned businesses.
I don't like the critiquing of our restaurants and people and talking bad about our goddamn businesses and like, dude, you know how hard it is
and I get it, Ocho.
for us to even get in the.
But if he would have got good service, it would have blew up though. That's what you don't understand, boy.
What was it like? Yes. What was the wait time like? That's all you got to do.
At the end of the day, Keith just gives his honest opinion and experience, but he implores everyone to try for themselves. If he is too positive, his opinion will hold no weight. If he is too negative, he will be seen as destructive. There will always be haters. However, broadcasting his opinion to 14 million followers will, without a doubt, prevent a lot of people from trying a restaurant. If someone I trust says don't go somewhere to eat, I'll probably listen to them. Or if I have one bad experience, I probably won't go there again. This is why some people argue that you can't have a bad day in the customer service industry. If you can't afford a bad review, then you shouldn't give bad service, especially if you are inviting a food critic to your establishment, which a lot of these restaurants do. Through all the drama, Keith found a lot of gems in Atlanta. The seafood menu, juicy jerk, the dining experience, which he personally tipped the owner $2,000, and Jamaican jerk biz, where the owner broke into tears when he walked in. He asked the owner what her sales were for the day, which was $2,600, and he paid her $3,000 for his meal. However, Keith just announced that he's on his way to Houston to do a food tour, and restaurant owners are trembling. In just 10 months of fame, Keith has helped hundreds of businesses, raise tens of thousands of dollars for charity, and continues to spread love and positivity during a time where
getting paid to eat, man. Don't get no better than that.
Food review show, or a cooking show, or maybe an app for restaurants all around the country that he recommends. As long as he remains the positive.
Hey, bro, that nigga need his own restaurant, man.
Knows and loves,
that nigga keep, bro, he need his own restaurant, bro.
Finally, the internet made the right person famous.
Look, hey, bro, that nigga need his own restaurant, man. And if y'all boys enjoyed the reaction, man, y'all already know what to do, man. Hit the sub button, hit the like button. And we out of here.
Yeah. Run around, creeping around, sneaking around. These bitches all fake. Niggas hating and I know they wanna see me down. These niggas all snakes. Tryna give a helping hand to everybody around me. Huncho like all state. When I was on my own and I needed you, you picked up my call. Like, what's been going on? Baby,